You think your Ford is a loyal servant just because it starts every morning. You are wrong. Dealerships handed you a key fob, took your money, and left you driving a neutered machine. They buried the safety overrides and mechanical lifelines deep inside complex software menus. Ford engineers built these systems to protect the vehicle, but marketing teams hid them so you would visit the service bay more often. Right now, your truck or SUV is actively withholding features you already paid for. Some of these hidden settings can save your engine from catastrophic failure, while others prevent your transmission from shredding its own gear teeth. You are neglecting the very technology designed to keep your wallet fat. Setting 15. The Intelligent Oil Life Monitor illusion. You probably think changing your oil every 3,000 miles is cheap insurance. Or worse, you trust the little sticker the Quick Lube shop slapped on your windshield. Both approaches are costing you thousands of dollars in wasted fluid and unneeded filters. Modern Ford engines utilize a complex algorithm that tracks crankshaft revolutions, ambient temperature, cold start frequencies, and engine load. It calculates oil degradation based on real engineering data, not a random mileage guess. If you idle your EcoBoost engine in winter traffic, the oil shears down faster due to fuel dilution. The monitor catches this. If you drive steady highway miles at 2,000 RPM, the oil stays clean much longer. By ignoring the cluster display and changing full synthetic oil prematurely, you throw away $100 every few months. Over a decade, that is $4,000 flushed down the drain for absolutely no mechanical benefit. Conversely, if you blindly push past the monitor's warning because you do not trust the digital dashboard, you risk oil starvation. This destroys the variable camshaft timing phasers, leading to a $3,500 teardown. The fix is instant. Stop looking at the windshield sticker. Navigate to your information display, find the vehicle settings, and reset the oil life monitor only when you actually pour fresh oil into the filler neck. Trust the engineering. Ignore the Quick Lube marketing. Setting 14. The silent trailer sway control hazard. If you hitch a trailer to your Ford, you are operating a weapon. Most owners assume their towing stability relies entirely on their own hands on the steering wheel. That assumption will get you flipped into a ditch. When a crosswind hits your camper at 70 miles per hour, the trailer begins to oscillate. This creates a physics phenomenon known as unstable harmonic oscillation. The trailer tires lose lateral grip, and the tongue begins slamming the rear of your vehicle side to side. Ford built an electronic stability system specifically to counter this by utilizing the ABS module to apply independent braking force to a single front wheel. This counteracts the tongue pivot before you even feel the steering wheel twitch. The danger is that some drivers deactivate traction control when pulling out of slippery boat ramps and forget to re-engage it. Doing this disables the trailer sway control entirely. You are one highway wind gust away from a $15,000 total loss wreck. The fix is simple. Every single time you drop a trailer coupler onto your hitch ball, verify that trailer sway control is toggled on in your driver assist menu. Do not let a single trip happen with that box unchecked. Setting 13. The Pre-Collision Assist Factory Trap. Ford ships their vehicles with the pre-collision emergency braking system set to a generic medium sensitivity. This factory default is a compromise that satisfies no one. If you live in a dense urban area, the system will misinterpret parked cars on a curve as an immediate threat. It will violently slam the brakes, blinding the driver behind you and risking a rear-end collision. Frustrated owners react by turning the entire system off. This is a massive mistake. Deactivating a safety system because the factory calibration annoyed you means you lose the automatic braking function entirely. If you distract yourself for 1 second when traffic stops, you will plow into the vehicle ahead, causing a $10,000 front-end collision and totaling your car. The fix takes 10 seconds. Go into your Sync touchscreen, select Vehicle Settings, open Driver Assistance, and find Pre-Collision Assist. Change the sensitivity to low if you are an aggressive city driver, or high if you drive open highways and want maximum reaction time. Customize the machine to your environment instead of disabling your insurance policy. Setting 12. The hidden all-door one-touch window programming. You already know your driver's window drops with a single deep press of the switch. What Ford did not tell you is that the actual window regulator motors on the other 3 doors are identical. They possess the exact same Hall effect sensors that detect window position and resistance. The manufacturer simply disabled the one-touch express function on the passenger switches from the factory on several trim levels to create an artificial sense of premium value. You are forced to hold the button down like it is 1995 while trying to merge into highway traffic. This is a distraction that pulls your eyes off the road for several critical seconds. You can force the vehicle modules to relearn this behavior yourself without paying a dealership a $150 diagnostic fee to hook up their scan tool. The fix is a physical calibration sequence. Pull the window switch up until the glass closes completely, and keep holding the switch up for 5 full seconds. Release it, then press the switch down until the window opens fully, holding it down at the bottom for another 5 seconds. Repeat this cycle twice. The door module reprograms its internal memory, mapping the exact voltage drop at the travel limits, and unlocks the hidden one-touch functionality for that door, setting 11, the My Key restriction lock. Most owners think the secondary key fob sitting in their kitchen drawer is identical to the main one. It is not. If you accidentally navigate the instrument cluster menu and activate the My Key feature on your primary fob, you will lock your vehicle into an artificial valet mode. The next time you start the car, you will find your top speed electronically limited to 80 miles per hour, the radio volume capped at 45%, and the traction control button completely disabled. Owners panic, thinking their powertrain control module has suffered a terminal electronic glitch. They tow the car to a shop, facing a massive bill for a problem that requires 0 tools to fix. The manufacturer designed this to control teenage drivers, but the menu layout makes it incredibly easy to activate by mistake. The fix requires your secondary admin key. Insert the unrestricted key into the backup slot, which is usually hidden beneath the rubber mat in the center console cup holder or armrest. Turn the ignition on, navigate to the My Key menu via the steering wheel buttons, and select Clear My Key. Never configure this setting unless you intentionally want to handicap your vehicle, setting 10. The Securicode Master Bypass. That vertical column of numbers on your door pillar is not a decorative gimmick. It is a hardwired entry point that bypasses your key fob entirely. Many owners buy a used Ford, see the keypad, and ignore it because the previous owner did not leave the 5-digit factory master code. Dealerships will charge you an hour of labor to plug into the OBD2 port just to read that code from the body control module. That is a blatant ripoff. The engineering team printed that master code on a physical label and tucked it deep under the dashboard where service technicians look. You can find it yourself for free. Grab a flashlight, crawl into the driver's footwell, and look up past the brake pedal arm toward the back of the fuse box. You will see a small white sticker with 5 bold black numbers printed on it. That code is permanent. It cannot be erased or changed, even if the vehicle battery dies. Memorize it. Enter those 5 digits, and the driver's door unlocks instantly. Press the 3-4 button immediately after, and it unlocks all remaining doors. Press 7, 8, and 9-0 simultaneously when exiting, and the entire vehicle locks without a key, setting 9. The hidden camera clearing jet. You back out of a driveway on a rainy morning, look at your expensive center screen, and see nothing but a blurry smear of gray mud. The rear-view camera lens is exposed to every bit of road grime kicked up by your rear tires. Most drivers accept this as a design flaw. They put the vehicle in park, get out into the rain, and wipe the lens with their thumb. This is not just annoying, it is dangerous. Walking behind a running vehicle in a slippery parking lot invites disaster. If your Ford SUV or truck is a higher trim level, you do not need to get wet. The engineers installed a dedicated high-pressure washer nozzle right next to the camera lens, plumbed directly into the rear window washer fluid line. It operates completely in tandem with your rear wiper fluid controls. The fix is intuitive once you know the plumbing layout. With the vehicle in reverse and the camera image active on your screen, twist your wiper stalk to activate the rear window washer fluid spray. A high-velocity jet of fluid will blast the camera lens clean in half a second, restoring full visibility instantly. You think these hidden software settings and physical bypasses are the only tricks Ford left out of the sales brochure? You are barely scraping the surface. The most critical, engine-saving overrides are buried even deeper inside the central computing architecture. And what happens when you don't adjust them will ruin your transmission before the odometer hits 6 figures. Setting 8. The Auto High Beam Blind Spot. You drive down an unlit 2-lane highway at night, relying on the forward-facing camera mounted behind your rearview mirror to manage your high beams. Ford markets this as an automated safety luxury. In reality, the factory software calibration contains a dangerous processing lag. The camera sensor looks for specific light wavelengths and pixel clusters that match oncoming halogen or LED headlights. However, if you encounter an oncoming vehicle or a cyclist with slightly degraded dim yellow lights, or if your windshield is covered in a light film of road salt or bug splatter, the algorithm fails to register the hazard in time. You end up blasting 2200 lumens of high beam light directly into another driver's retinas for 3 critical seconds. This causes flash blindness, a physiological state where the oncoming driver's pupils constrict instantly, destroying their night vision. At 60 miles per hour, that driver is now piloting a 4,000-pound projectile, completely blind, for nearly 300 feet, right toward your front bumper. A head-on collision is a catastrophic fatal event that results in a $45,000 total loss or worse. The cost to avoid this is exactly $0. You must take control back from the sluggish camera module. Enter your instrument cluster or sync lighting menu. Find the Auto High Beam toggle and switch it off completely. Go back to using the manual physical stalk on your steering column. Your human eyes can detect dim headlights over a hill long before the vehicle's cheap camera sensor finishes processing the pixels. Setting 7. The Hill Start Assist Brake Drag Trap. When you stop your Ford on an incline greater than 3 degrees, the yaw rate sensor inside the restraint's control module alerts the anti-lock brake module. The system then automatically maintains hydraulic pressure in your brake lines for up to 2 seconds after you release the pedal. This is designed to prevent the vehicle from rolling backward while your foot transitions to the accelerator. The hidden flaw lies in stop-and-go traffic or tight parking situations on moderate hills. If you apply the throttle quickly before the 2-second timer expires, the engine must fight against its own locked brake calipers. The powertrain control module commands the engine to produce torque, forcing the transmission to slip its torque converter or dual clutch packs against a stationary brake rotor. This creates extreme friction and thermal spikes inside your transmission fluid. The oil breaks down at the molecular level, losing its viscosity and turning into a varnished sludge that can no longer protect the internal bearings. You are actively cooking your transmission components just to save yourself from a 2-inch rollback. Replacing a cooked 10R80 or 6F35 transmission will run you anywhere from $5,500 to $7,500 at a reputable shop. The fix requires altering your muscle memory. Do not mash the throttle the instant you lift off the brake on a hill. Instead, lift your foot, wait a fraction of a second for the hydraulic pressure to naturally bleed off the calipers, which you will feel as a slight softening of the pedal resistance, and then gently apply the accelerator. Alternatively, if your specific model allows it within the Advanced Driver Assist Settings menu, toggle Hill Start Assist to off and utilize your left foot on the brake pedal for total manual control. Setting 6. The Easy Entry and Exit Seat Track Execution. Higher trim Fords feature a convenience setting that automatically slides the driver's seat all the way to its rearward travel limit when you shut off the ignition. This gives you extra room to swing your legs out without hitting the steering wheel. What the dealership salesperson failed to mention is the mechanical toll this takes on your seat track assembly. A standard driver's seat weighs roughly 50 to 70 pounds, but when you add your body weight to it, the total mass climbing back and forth across that track exceeds 250 pounds. The seat motor relies on a small plastic nylon drive gear spinning along a metal worm screw. Executing this full travel slide twice a day, every single day, induces severe mechanical fatigue on those fragile plastic gear teeth. Over time, the heavy load strips the nylon teeth completely, leaving your seat permanently jammed in the furthest rearward position where your feet can barely reach the pedals. A replacement power seat track assembly from the dealership parts counter cost $1,200, plus another $300 in labor, because the technician has to unbolt the entire seat structure from the floor pan just to access the motor. Compare that $500 repair bill to the minor inconvenience of sliding out of a normal position seat. The fix is immediate. Boot up your central sync touchscreen, tap the settings icon, open the vehicle or seat submenu, find the easy entry exit option, and uncheck the box. Save your seat track gears from premature death and adjust your steering column position manually if you truly need the extra clearance. You believe you have conquered the digital gremlins by adjusting these basic menu parameters? You haven't even touched the primary electrical heart of the vehicle. The next sequence of hidden factory configurations controls the charging system and the climate modules, and leaving those at their default settings will strand you on a freezing highway with a dead battery long before winter arrives. Setting 5. The Sync Voice Climate Control Distraction Trap. Ford markets its natural voice recognition software as a breakthrough for driver safety. They want you to believe that stating a command like set temperature to 72 degrees keeps your eyes safely locked onto the road ahead. Here is the mechanical reality behind the software curtain. The APIM, or Accessory Protocol Interface Module, processes your voice data. This module is notoriously underpowered in many Ford vehicles, lacking the processing speed to simultaneously handle navigation mapping, Bluetooth audio streaming, and climate override inputs. When you trigger the voice command button on a congested highway, the AAFIM frequently suffers from momentary data latency. You state your command, and nothing happens for 4 to 5 critical seconds. Your natural human reaction is to look down at the center screen to see if the system registered your voice. While you are staring at a frozen touchscreen waiting for a digital thermometer to update, your vehicle is covering 90 feet per second at highway speeds. This processing lag creates a dangerous psychological feedback loop where the driver actively watches the machine fail. If a vehicle breaks ahead during that 5-second window of electronic hesitation, you are staring at a total loss accident. A front-end collision at highway speeds can easily exceed $25,000 in property damage, not to mention medical liabilities. The fix is a hard return to physical tactile muscle memory. Stop talking to your dashboard. Reach down and utilize the dedicated physical climate buttons or dials beneath the screen. These tactile controls send an immediate, hardwired voltage signal directly to the HVAC module, bypassing the sluggish sync software stack entirely. You can feel a physical dial click without ever pulling your focus from the pavement. Setting 4. The silent killer of EcoBoost engines, the Auto Start-Stop Default Loop. This is the most deceptive, mechanically destructive factory setting Ford has ever forced upon its consumer base. The marketing teams call it an environmental, fuel-saving innovation. The actual powertrain engineers know it is a calculated threat to the structural longevity of your engine. When you come to a stop at a red light, the engine control module cuts fuel delivery and sparks, killing the engine. The instant your foot lifts off the brake, the starter motor fires, cranking the engine back to life. Ford claims this saves you pennies at the pump, but the hidden mechanical cost is astronomical. Every single time an internal combustion engine shuts down, the engine oil pump stops spinning, causing oil pressure to instantly drop to zero. The oil film that separates your crankshaft journals from the main bearings begins to thin out. When the engine auto restarts, the crankshaft undergoes metal-on-metal boundary lubrication for a fraction of a second before the oil pump can repressurize the oil galleries up to its standard operating metric of 30 to 40 psi. A normal engine experiences this high-wear boundary lubrication state maybe 2 or 3 times a day during cold starts. With Auto Start-Stop active in city traffic, your engine undergoes this destructive metal-on-metal event 30 to 40 times a day. You are artificially accelerating the wear cycle on your crankshaft main bearings and rod journals by a factor of 10. Over 5 to 6 years of ownership, this constant oil starvation at startup tears down the precision tolerances inside your engine block. The bearing clearances widen, oil pressure drops permanently, and the engine develops a terminal rod knock. A complete replacement of a Ford 2.7L or 3.5L EcoBoost engine will cost you between $8,000 and $11,000 at a qualified repair facility. You are risking an $11,000 mechanical catastrophe to save $50 in fuel over the course of an entire year. The factory forces this system to default to on every single time you cycle the ignition key because it allows them to meet strict federal fleet fuel economy standards during testing. They do not care if your bearings are shredded at 110,000 miles once the factory warranty has long expired. The fix requires relentless vigilance on your part. Train your right hand to perform a mandatory pre-flight checklist. The exact moment your finger pushes the engine start button, immediately move your hand 2 inches over and press the physical auto start-stop override button, the icon showing an A with a circular arrow around it. This deactivates the system for that specific driving cycle, keeping your oil pump spinning, your oil galleries pressurized, and your crankshaft safely floating on a protective hydraulic cushion of clean engine oil. If you want a permanent mechanical solution, you can install an aftermarket auto start-stop eliminator harness behind the switch panel, which uses a microchip to automatically send the disable signal every time the truck boots up. Take control back from the corporate fuel compliance algorithms and protect the structural metal inside your investment, the ultimate ownership blueprint. Master your Ford. You cannot trust a vehicle manufacturer to prioritize the long-term durability of your vehicle over their own corporate compliance metrics and service department profitability. The factory default configurations are designed for the average consumer who trades their vehicle in every 3 years. If you want your vehicle to last a decade without draining your bank account, you must actively manage its software and mechanical systems. Here is the definitive summary of the overrides and fixes you need to execute right now. Feature: setting the hidden danger, hidden cost the actionable, fix intelligent oil life monitor windshield stickers. Cause premature fluid waste, 4,000 ver, a decade. Ignoring alerts causes VCT phaser failure, 3,500. Trust the real-time engineering data. Reset the monitor only when fresh oil is poured. Trailer sway control turning traction control off disables the trailer safety system, risking a fatal highway flip. 15,000 loss. Verify the trailer sway control box is toggled on in the driver assist menu every single tow trip. Pre-collision assist medium factory default causes sudden braking in city traffic. Disabling it entirely leads to front-end wrecks. 10,000. Access the sync menu, open driver assistance, and adjust sensitivity to low for city or high for highway. One-touch Windows passenger side functionality is artificially disabled from factory, creating unnecessary driver distraction. Hold switch up for 5 seconds when closed, then down for 5 seconds when open. Repeat twice to calibrate. My key restrictions accidental activation locks vehicle into a permanent 80 mph valet mode, risking false diagnostic bills. 150 plus. Place the unrestricted admin key into the center console backup slot, open the menu, and select Clear My Key. Securicode keypad dealerships charge an hour of labor. 150. To retrieve a forgotten 5-digit factory code, crawl into the driver's footwell. Locate the white sticker on the back of the fuse box to find the permanent master code. Rearview camera washer blind, backing due to mud splatter. Exiting a running vehicle in bad weather to clean the lens is a major safety hazard. Put the vehicle in reverse and twist the wiper stalk to activate the rear window fluid jet, blasting the lens clean. Auto high beams processing lag blinds oncoming drivers, risking a head-on collision. 45,000 total loss. Turn off auto high beam in the lighting menu and use the physical steering column stalk for manual precision. Hill start assist mashing throttle causes engine to fight locked calipers. Cooking transmission fluid 1,500 replacement. Pause for a fraction of a second after lifting off the brake to let hydraulic line pressure drop before applying throttle. Easy entry exit seats constantly sliding 250 plus pounds across the track. Shears the plastic nylon drive gears inside the seat motor. Race 1. 500 repair. Navigate to the vehicle settings menu on your sync screen and uncheck the easy entry exit option entirely. Sync voice climate APM processing lag causes drivers to stare at a frozen screen. Risking highway accidents, 25,000 liability. Bypass the voice command system completely. Rely on hardwired. Tactile physical buttons beneath the screen. Auto start-stop system constant oil pressure drops. Cause catastrophic metal-on-metal main bearing. Wear and rod knock. Odd 11,000 engine replacement. Make pressing the physical override button a mandatory habit every time you start the car. Or install an eliminator harness. Do not let your vehicle dictate its own lifespan through hidden software traps. Stop being a passive driver who simply turns the key and hopes for the best. Grab your owner's manual, sit in your driveway for 30 minutes, and manually audit every driver assistance and vehicle setting buried inside that dashboard. Force the machine to operate on your terms, protect your mechanical components, and keep your hard-earned money out of the dealership service bays. The engineering is already sitting there inside your vehicle. It is up to you to uncover it and use it correctly.